Last year I got bored and decided to buy a townhouse. So in this video, I'm going to share 5 things I learned buying a home in Atlanta at 28. Let's go ahead and dive in. My name is the Humble Henry. I am a high earner, not rich yet, and my goal is to humbly share my financial journey with you. I guess it doesn't sound humble to say I got bored and bought a house, but I'm just trying to be provocative. Anyways, let's jump into what I learned. Number 1 thing on my list that I learned is a good realtor is worth their weight in gold. I absolutely loved my realtor, loved my real estate agent. She had decades of experience that lent themselves to what I was looking for. She was able to really know Atlanta neighborhoods. She was able to know value. She was able to know safety items, everything from escrow. She had referrals for me. She was such a great partner in the work. And I absolutely loved working with my agent. She literally got me everything on my home buying wish list. And it's because she is such a veteran that she was able to take what I gave her and already have ideas of listings and neighborhoods in mind that she had literally sold to other people. So 10 out of 10, I recommend going with a heavyweight. It depends on how much you want to be involved in the process. I knew that I wanted to kind of take a back seat in the home buying process and really let the legend do her thing. And so that is what I was able to do because I had such a heavy hitter for my real estate agent. Number 2, owning is never ever cheaper than renting, right? Like, sometimes your mortgage might be equal to or slightly under your rent, but honey, there are so many other costs that are associated with being a homeowner that unless you're moving like from LA to Idaho or Ohio, it probably ain't gonna be cheaper to buy than to rent, right? Like, you have so much more maintenance to be responsible for. You have so many other things that are going to be on your plate. You have home insurance, you have PMI, you have escrow, you have taxes, right? And so there is a lot to consider beyond that sticker price of the house. I mean, I personally live in an HOA, right? So there's just a lot to balance as far as what you can really afford. And so take a serious look at your finances when buying a house, obviously. Number 3 on my list is that once you've bought your house, you need a plan and a budget for all of the changes and all the renovations and things that you want to make. If I had it all to do over again, there are some things that I postponed that I would just do from the get-go, right? For example, I didn't paint my bedroom because I wanted to spend money on something else. I think I bought like some furniture pieces. If I had it all to do again, I would have painted when the house was empty, right? Like, it sounds so common sense, but it just wasn't that much of a priority at the time. However, if I thought about long term, how long it would take me to paint the room, find someone to do it, save up the money for it when it was full of stuff, I might have reprioritized that. It's the same concept with like getting your carpets redone. Like, it's a best practice to get new carpets whenever you move in somewhere. However, if they don't smell, they're not dirty, like, you might keep them. But ultimately, I do wish that I would have gotten my carpets replaced again when my house was empty. Those are some things I wish I would have planned for better. And you have to have a budget because if you don't plan to spend, you are just kind of going to keep putting it on the back burner, is what I've learned. Number 4 on the list, safety is absolutely everything. And I am a person who inherently cares about her safety, but there was just a little bit of a lower guard. I feel like when I was in an apartment versus now being a homeowner, even the places that I record content in my home, right? Like, we all know you put this much information on the internet and people can find out everything they want to know. And so if you care about your safety and your privacy, you have to be very thoughtful about your home, what happens there, who you invite there. Even as far as a lot of the maintenance people and contractors that I've had, thankfully no one has made me to feel unsafe. But looking back, I probably should have just had a friend here when some of those strangers were coming into my house, just as a best practice, right? Like, they don't need to know I live alone. They don't need to know I don't have a roommate, right? And so there's just another level of thoughtfulness that you should have to your safety when you buy a house. Number 5 on my list, which really is the thread that goes through all of these things I've mentioned, is that home ownership is next level responsibility. If you don't like big responsibilities, if you're self-aware enough to know that you're immature, like, don't buy a house, okay? You will regret it. It's just like when people get a dog and then they're like, oh, I wish I could just up and go on vacation. Like, it's like that, but 1,000 times worse. You know, there's so much that you have to manage as a homeowner. You need to file your homeowner's exemption. You need to understand your escrow. You need to do the maintenance around your house, right? There's a lot that goes into it. And even just the responsibilities you have on a day-to-day level increase, right? I have a lamp right now that needs light bulbs. Once I go to the store to get light bulbs, I know I also need to get batteries. It's a new change of season. I need to change the filters in my HVAC, right? There's always a list, and it can be manageable if you're the kind of person who makes lists and sticks to them. So just understand that home ownership is definitely a different level of responsibility that is going to happen much more than I ever experienced renting. So all in all, I've learned a ton through this process. I support home ownership. If you have the money for it, absolutely go for it, right? But don't let it be an impulse choice of like, well, everybody else is buying houses, so I'm gonna buy a house. You know, put some real thought behind it. If anyone else has other questions about the home buying process, wants to ask me things, wants to know what I learned, I'll probably do another video just talking about the financials of home buying, how much money I put down, what my home cost, and all those things. But drop all your questions in the comments because I would love to keep this conversation going. I would have loved to been able to talk to someone who had done something like this around my age when I was a year ago in this process of buying a house. So I'm happy to continue the conversation and offer whatever wisdom I may be able to offer. If you watched this far, I appreciate you. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for joining the Humble Henry channel, and I'll be back with more content for you soon. Goodbye.